people have doubted us, and I've seen the comments, seen people are saying we're never going to do it, but obviously we have. You do see this, it's all hype, it's this, it's that, but hopefully we'll put those detractors and we'll make them quiet by delivering what we're going to deliver.
You might have followed the whole startup story of this new company founded by Carl Pei.
For this guy to then leave OnePlus and start a new company in the same lane, he must be sure that he can make something even better.
So yeah guys, today we have to do a few quick reviews before the latest OTA. Basically, there are changes in the Glyphs user interface. We basically took out the renders because they're not ready yet. In terms of UI, so we obviously have an operating system that's based on Android. We want to give that extra nothing feel to things, not just on a launcher level, but also on the native apps that we are using. So for example, camera and voice recorder, things like that. There will be more in the future.
When you look at Android, there's like 50 layers of any type of Android. And when you get users that might use a lesser brand, but it's still Android, they might have that experience in mind. So we have got to build up, the expectancy of this is a better OS. This is Android, but it's our Android environment.
All the design decisions we made were all based on reflecting what the brand is all about, cutting down on things that are not necessary. And we took a bit of a gamble there. We decided to try some different things, and there's more things coming.
I think maybe we could give it an option, if the user wants to keep it N dot, because it's quite quirky. We are going sometimes against everything that we learned before, or places that we worked before that are more strict, more rigid. And here it's like, no, we wanna be slightly different. We are building everything from scratch as well, so we just have more room to do something different.
We're in a sphere where there are so many Android devices out there, they're established brands. We have the advantage of seeing what people have done and what they've done wrong, and we'll build on that.
Well, first we need to set up how many customization options we have, but then we need to do one icon per each of these.
Yeah, in our style.
In the same style, yeah. The two camera decision has been quite a big talking point around everyone in-house. You don't have a kind of shift away from your main photo, like your default state.
We've made these decisions for a reason. I've seen the specs behind what we've implemented in the phone. When you look at Apple that have like a third camera that's a LiDAR sensor, I mean, who uses LiDAR sensors on a daily basis?
So the thinking here is more provide the best experience possible without needing to, people to adjust all single parameters and all that. It's like single shot out of the box, best in business. If you can do with one what 3 can do, we don't need more than that.
How do I feel about the launch? I feel slightly nervous, yes, because all of us are like working very hard to release this. It's something that we put so much of our time and effort that we wanted to succeed, obviously.
How is your work-life balance at the moment?
We did confirm recently that every phone one that's sold in India is going to be manufactured locally. So this is super exciting because we are at the Chennai manufacturing unit, which is where phone one is being made. It's interesting because what we are seeing here is the making of phone one layer by layer. This is the pre-assembly phase where the mid-frame of the smartphone is combined with the display, which is being tested separately right behind this. At the end of this assembly line, the two components get molded together, but for it to truly pass the test, it has to stay glued together for a minimum time of 3 hours. So all these panels that are here are glued for 3 hours, there's a pressure test that's done, and if it gets okayed, that's when it moves to the next stage. Otherwise, it's just out of the system. This is the final quality check where she just is checking if the display is glued well with the mid-frame or not. I'm just happy to see a lot of like green pass on every screen. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. This is where we check the front camera, we check the rear camera and the wide camera as well. That's on the back panel of Nothing Phone 1. And currently this says pass, so that's a good sign. So this test was what I was personally most excited about. This is where the glyph is being tested. So this panel is tested strip by strip. Next up is the gyroscope test. For those who don't know what gyroscope is, that is essentially what enables your phone when you are using navigation or you're playing games. Once all tests are done, the last step is the aging test, where the phone goes through 8 hours of continuous tests, all the tests for one last time before it can get packaged. All phone ones being tested right here. This is super exciting. What I have right here is the Nothing Phone 1 all ready to be shipped out and packed in its final box. Do you want to see it? I'm kidding, I can't show it to you. I can't show it to you just yet. They're going to blur it even if I pull it out of the box. It's interesting for us to be able to see this firsthand and not work in silos, and that's the best part about being a part of Nothing and seeing this, working closely with all teams all over the world. I feel really good. I feel happy. It's been a good, rewarding day. I think we should end it with a nice cup of coffee. You can't come to Chennai and not do coffee. Hi. We'll just get some coffee. My story before Nothing. I was a broadcast journalist. I worked with a business news channel and I was in the newsroom for close to a decade. I was looking at startups, I was looking at technology. I know how many devices I would have unboxed and done stories and reviews. And there was a time when every new launch was exciting because there was an significant upgrade from the previous version. And that gap just started diminishing to a point that we reached a moment where the industry was so stagnant, so uninspiring. Interestingly, my journey with Nothing, it started with a pursuit for a good story. I realized that the mission that the company had, I aligned with it instantly because that was a problem that I saw firsthand. This was probably the closest that I would come to solving for that problem, and I wanted to be a part of that journey. The stakes are high. The expectations are high. It's challenging, but if it wasn't, what's the fun? We've also been working so closely with our community. We've been wanting to build Nothing and all our products with them. We're confident of everything that we've built. We know we gave it our best. We've tried to move the needle, so we just need to see if people are ready for it or not.
We're getting these replaced. Tom, I've forgotten the code again. I learned it last week. Yeah. This is going to be a workshop and also a project area.
So you haven't been here very long, have you?
No, like about 3 weeks. We were moving out of WeWork. We loaded a van up, but we still hadn't signed the contract for here. Everything was to the wire. I mean, we were running through the WeWork offices with trolleys with our stuff in. Just as the stuff was loaded out onto the pavement, we got the contract signed so we could turn the key and come in, which was exciting. I mean, it's maybe not for everyone, but... So this is the first floor. This is actually the floor that we're living in. At the moment, we're just using these temporary desks, which work absolutely fine, but we've ordered some desks. There's the legs over there. It takes a little bit longer for us, just because everything that we have in here has an impact on what we do, and it says something about ourselves to ourselves. We don't have a proper workshop yet, so we do have some 3D printers. Sometimes you need to make a full mock-up, but sometimes you can just isolate certain things, make some variations, and then make that decision in isolation. And then next time you do a full build, you incorporate that, and then you can assess it in context. That means we can make decisions quicker. That means we can iterate quicker. That means that the products get better because we get more goes at everything. There's lots of things to think about. I'm actually quite an anxious person, but I try and keep a lid on it. I guess the reason when I'm talking about it, I probably don't sound that nervous is because of the confidence I've got in the people we've got and the product itself and the work that's been done already. We went over to Stockholm a few months ago to help figure out, there were lots of ideas about the glyphs, where we could bring a new experience to users to kind of, I don't know, almost get the essence of that nothing feeling that we all have a sense of, but we don't have too many examples of it.
We're trying to create a new language for products, for technology devices, because it's such a screen-based experience. The challenge with the glyphs was to try and create this new way for our devices to communicate with us.
So one of these individual glyphs, if you link those to one of the sounds in the audio, it starts to feel like the sounds are coming from these glyphs.
Nope. Nope.
There was a really cool sound designer known as Tengen. Jesper did a brief for him, which was to create kind of spiky electronic sounds that referenced the 1980s kind of piezo speaker kind of products. And what we really needed to do was almost set the lights to the sounds. So we spent a week really quite obsessively going through this. We didn't do this by asking a series of users what their favorite ones were. This is our chance for expression and to create something different. In some companies, everything needs to be backed up by data. You almost stop thinking, and at nothing there is space for expression. There's space for humanity, and what that means is you get humanity in the product. So, we're not robots. It's exciting. I mean, I can't wait to see, my first person that I'm going to see on the tube or something with one is going to be absolutely amazing. There's nothing like that. No. Tom thinks I'm going white in my beard. If it's ever going to happen, it would have happened in the last 6 months.
No. I thought you looked a bit pasty on that camera.
Pasty?
On that camera.
Gail thinks I look pasty.
I think we've also got the best lock sound in the world. Oh. Very nice, if I say so myself.
We are here today just to get some feedback on some of the features like camera and the overall UI, how it's looking, and see how they react to it as well.
Are you all from the same company?
Yes.
And the company is
nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Thank you.
If you want to have a look at the current state of
Thank you.
the phone, yeah?
It's actually very light. So I think Nothing is doing things differently. At Qualcomm, we look for companies who share the values of innovation and creativity and who work hard to achieve extraordinary things. I think here we are proud of the work that we are doing together with Nothing. I'm confident that this phone is bringing something fresh and new to the smartphone industry.
Yeah, we're now starting to work on feedback. So how can the lights start to, react to other things you do with the phone? So for example, if you have the reverse wireless charging.
From this version you're seeing now, what's the main differences on the UI or on the system that you're seeing now?
The earlier version that I saw didn't have the aluminum frame. And was not as I think rounded here as the edges. So we have worked with Nothing since the very beginning, and we felt that Snapdragon 778G Plus was the right platform for this device. But one special aspect that we did is that we are enabling wireless charging on this platform for the very first time.
How do you feel about the overall experience of actually using the phone now?
It's quite fluid.
It is, yeah. So if
what is left to be done?
A lot of adjustments. Some UI details are still in development, for example.
We are excited to have joined forces with Nothing, and we're confident that the Phone 1 will be a success.